recognize the presence, I wish to recognize the presence of officers from the Senate Liaison Office and the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, WFD, who are the Speaker's Gallery. They are here to do a follow-up on the implementation of the county legislative track by the County Assembly of Makueni. I wish to recognize the following officers by their name. Mohammed, Senate Liaison Officer. Ms. Marianne Karanja, Senior ICT Officer, Senate. Mr. Henry Owino, WFD Representative. And Mr. Richard Jwege, a consultant. Honorable members, the county legislation tracker website system collates all the legislation from the 47 county assemblies and aims to boost transparency and accountability in Kenya's governance by providing a centralized platform for monitoring bills and acts across the 47 counties. Honorable members, the Makueni County Assembly has actively made its contribution to the site by projecting the numerous legislation processed by the Assembly. The site is accessible to all members of public as well as other stakeholders globally. Thank you. Further to that, I have another communication to make. We wish to recognize the presence of the public speakers gallery, the presence of teachers and pupils of PCEA Kibwezi Primary School in Kikumbuli South Ward, seated at the speakers gallery. They are here on a visit to the county assembly to learn about operations and the roles of the county assembly. They include 1, Mr. Michael Maingi, class teacher at grade 4, and Madam Elizabeth Mutuku. Honorable members, for the information to the visitors, teachers, and students, the Constitution of Kenya establishes 47 county governments, which comprising of a county executive and county assembly. The county executive is comprised of the governor, deputy governor, county executive committee member, and whose functions are 1, to implement laws passed by the county assembly, and 2 is implement within the county national laws to the extent that they are applicable. And 3 is to coordinate roles and county administration and its departments. Honorable members, the Constitution of Kenya and County Governments Act further provides for the composition and the roles of the county assembly as follows. 1, elected members of the county assembly, in this case, the member for Kikumbuli South Board, Honorable James Kalunda, PhD ongoing, who is a representative of the people seated at the gallery. So we have 30 members of the county assembly elected, nominated members for purposes of a third gender rule and marginalized groups, and the speaker who presides over the assembly sittings. Honorable members, the role of members of the county assembly for the information of the peoples are 1, is to make laws, and 2, to represent people in this assembly or the residents of that ward, and 3 is to oversee projects and activities as executed by county executive in various wards within the county. End of communication. Member for Kikumbuli South Ward.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want also to join you in welcoming the students and teachers and also our visitors from the National Senate, the National Parliament, that is Senate, to this assembly. And I wish them all the best as they also follow the proceedings from the Speaker's gallery. We are quite honored to have these kinds of visits, both from national government and also from the people we represent. I have seen even the teachers there who are big bosses of myself and wish them all the best as they take the students through the learning process. We wish also to congratulate the students for making it to the assembly and challenge them that in future they can also be members of this assembly, and they can be good role models to their peers and also the generations to come. I wish to take this opportunity on behalf of people of Kipupulu South and also my party, the party I represent as well, and also people of Thange, because PCA is also part of Thange Ward, which is represented by Honorable Katumo, to wish them all the best and also challenge them to be better people and to influence the people around Kibwezi area and beyond. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to speak to my bosses and to people we can inspire. Thank you very much. And I also want to tell them, when I came to this assembly, I was elected as the leader of minority, who is the official opposition in this government. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, it is important to recognize amongst the students is Senator Emmanuel Mutua for grade 4 class. And 2 is His Excellency the Governor, Irene Muchoki, Governor for grade 4 class PCA. Welcome, Your Excellencies. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 13th March 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The business of the County Assembly for the coming week. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Committee on Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture and Tourism. To lay a paper.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 13th March 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The report of the Committee on Trade, Marketing, Industry, Culture and Tourism on the consideration of the Makueni County Trade and Public Market Bill 2023. Thank you.
Chairperson, Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration and Special Programs.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 13th March 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration, and the Special Programs on the County Public Service Board compliance with the values and the principles in Article 10 and 232 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Thank you.
Chairperson, Joint Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services and Special Interest Groups.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Assembly today, Wednesday, 13th March 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The report of the Joint Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services and the Special Interest Groups on sexual harassment and exploitation of students of Chani Secondary School in Thange Ward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Chairperson, Procedure and Rules Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request for additional time because the report is not ready.
How much more time do you require, Chairperson?
14 days.
14 days.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson Committee on Lands, Urban Planning and Development.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we request for more time. The report is not ready. We will adopt the report by Monday, then it can come in the afternoon. Monday at 2:30.
The report on what?
Emali and Emali Municipality, IDEP and Makindu, Fiscal and Urban Land Use Plan.
So next week?
Yes,
When?
either Monday or Tuesday. Let's say on Tuesday.
Tuesday at 2:30.
Yes.
Fair enough. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson, Public Service.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration, and Special Programs on County Public Service Board, compliance with the values and principles in and 232 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, laid on the table of the Assembly on 13th March 2024. Thank you.
Chairperson, Joint Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports, Social Services, and Special Interest Groups. To give a notice of motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this Assembly adopts the report of the Joint Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services, and the Special Interest Groups on Sexual Harassment and the Exploitation of Students of Jahani Secondary School in Tanga Ward, laid on the table of the Assembly on 12th March 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Chairperson Committee on Lands, you give a notice on Tuesday at 2:30 next week. Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pass on to the provisions of Standing Order 47-2A and 55 of the County Assembly Standing Orders arise to give a statement of the business of the County Assembly for the next sitting week. Honorable Speaker, the following business has been tentatively scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly in the next sitting week. Monday, 18th March 2024. Petitions. 1. Response to the public petition on behalf of the Healthcare Workers Union regarding unaddressed grievances affecting healthcare workers in Makueni County. Papers. 1. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Lands, Urban Planning and Development on the financial year 2023-2024 half-yearly county budget implementation report. So the motion shall be given as well. 2. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Infrastructure, Transport, Public Works, Housing and Energy on the financial year 2023-2024 half-yearly county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Tabling of the report of the County Committee on Environment and Climate Change on the financial year 2023-2024 half-yearly county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 4. Tabling of the report of the County Committee on Environment and Climate Change on the expose on the road at the Makueni County Sand Conservation and Utilization Authority. Notice of the motion shall as well be given. Number 5. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Health Services on the financial year 2023-2024 half-yearly county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 6. Tabling of the report of the Committee on Trade, Marketing, industry, culture, and tourism on the financial year 2023-2024 half-year county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 7, tabling of the report on the tabling of the report of the Committee on Trade, Marketing, Industry and Culture and Tourism on the consideration of the report of the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee on the unbundling and transfer of pending devolved functions for the trade sector. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 8, tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the financial year 2023-2024 half-year county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 9, tabling of the report of the Committee on ICT, Education and Internship on the financial year 2023-2024 half-year county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 10, tabling of the report of the Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative Development on the financial year 2023-2024 half-year county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 11, tabling of the report of the Committee on Water and Sanitation on the financial year 2023-2024 half-year county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 12, tabling of the report on the Committee on Gender, Children, Health, Youth, Sports and Social Services on the financial year 2023-2024 half-year county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 13, tabling of the report of the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services on the County Public Finance Management, Makueni County Empowerment Fund Regulations 2024. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 14, tabling of the report on the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services on the Makueni County Empowerment Fund Guidelines 2024. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 15, tabling of the report of the County Budget and Appropriation Committee on the Makueni County Physical Strategy Paper 2020. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 16, tabling of the report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration and Special Programs on the financial year 2023-2024 half-year county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 17, tabling of the report of the Committee on Devolution, Public Participation, County Administration and Special Programs on the operations of the county, Makueni County Public Service Board. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 18, tabling of the report on the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the financial year 2023-2024 half-year county budget implementation report. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Tabling of the report on Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the County Debt Management Strategy Paper, DMSP. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 20, tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County State and Public Officers Car Loan and Mortgage Fund second quarter financial year statements, financial year 2023-2024. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 21, tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Quarter 2 receiver of revenue financial statements for the period ended 31st December 2023. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 22, tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Revenue Fund quarterly report and financial statements for the quarter ended 31st December 2023. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 23, tabling of the report on the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on Makueni County Bursary Fund second quarter financial statements, financial year 2023-2024. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 24, tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on Makueni County Youth, Women and Men, Persons with Disability and Table Banking Groups Empowerment Fund quarterly report and financial statement at 1st December 2023. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 25, tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Agency Fund second quarter financial statement for the financial year 2023-2024. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 26, tabling of the report on the Committee on Finance and Social Planning on the Makueni County Executive quarterly reports and financial statements for the quarter ended 31st December 2023. Notice of the motion shall as well be tabling of the report on the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services on the consideration of the Makueni County Sports Policy 2023. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 28, tabling of the report on the Committee on Finance and Social Planning on the Makueni County Sand Conservation and Utilization Authority quarterly report and financial statements for the year ending for the period ended 31st December 2023. The notice of the motion shall be given as well. Tabling of the report, number 29, tabling of the report on the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on the Makueni County Assembly financial reports for the quarter ended 31st December 2023. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. 30. Tabling of the report on the Committee on Finance and Socio-Economic Planning on Kibwezi Makindu Water and Sanitation Company Limited quarterly report and financial statements for the period ended December 2020. Notice of the motion shall be given as well. Number 31, tabling of the report of the Committee on Finance and Social Planning on the Mboweni Water and Sanitation Limited quarterly report and financial statements for the period ended 1st December 2020. Notice of the motion shall as well be given. Number 32, tabling of the report on social planning on water and sewer limited quarterly report and financial statements for the period 2023. Notice of the motion shall as well be. Number 33 and the last one is tabling of the report on the Committee on Education and Internship on the consideration of the report of the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee on the unbundling and transfer of pending devolved functions for the education sectors. Notice of the motion shall as well be given. Statements, we've scheduled 4 statements. First one is response to the statement regarding the water tannery, as well as was requested by the Honorable Member for Watenzio Ward. 2, a response to the statement regarding the status of Kamunyurulo Earth Dam, as requested by the same Honorable Member for Watenzio Ward. Number 3, a response to the statement regarding the water in a Mali Sultan Hamud municipality and other parts of the county as requested by the Honorable Member for Emali Mulala Ward. The last one is the response to the statement regarding the establishment of village councils as it was requested by the Honorable Member for Tulimani. Then we go to motions. Motions, we have 2 motions we've scheduled. 1, motion for the adoption of a report of the Committee on Lands, Urban Planning and Development on the Makindu Local Physical and Land Use Plan Development Plan 2023 to 2023. Second motion is motion on the adoption of the report Committee on Lands, Urban Planning and Development on Emali Sultan Hamud Municipality Development Plan 2023-2027. Motions. On Tuesday, 19th March 2024, morning plenary. Motions would be as follows. 1, motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Environment and Climate Change, consideration of the report of the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee on the unbundling and pending devolved functions for the agriculture sector. Second motion will be the Committee on Agriculture, Irrigation, Livestock, Fisheries and Cooperative on the report of the Relations Technical Committee handling and transfer of pending devolved functions for the agriculture sector. A third motion, the last morning session, for the adoption of the Joint Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services, and then the special interest groups on development and the exploitation of child school in Tange Ward. In the afternoon plenary, we have proposed papers and notices, tabling of yearly progress report for the July and December 2023. Motions. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Education and Internship on oversight on ECD centers. Country. And number 2, on the committee oversight on county technical training institutes. 3, motion committee on public administration programs compliance with principles of Article 10, 2 of the Constitution of Kenya, of the Trade and Public Markets Bill 2023. Bills. Under the bills, the Committee of the Whole House, considering the Makueni County Trade and Public Markets Bill. Wednesday, 20th March 2024. Statements will be as follows. A response to the statement regarding the delayed construction works at Mukuyuni Level 4 Hospital, as was requested by the Honorable Member for Ukia Ward. Number 2, a response to the statement regarding the implementation of Kanini Kasi Irrigation Scheme, a project in Kalawa Ward, as was requested by the Honorable Member for Ukia Ward. 3, to the statement regarding the implementation of agriculture projects in Kitundu Ward, as was requested by the Honorable Member for Kitungo Kitundu Ward. Motions. A motion for the adoption of the report on the Committee of Health Services on the consideration of the Intergovernmental Relations Committee, Technical Committee on the Unbundling and transfer of pending devolved functions for the health sector. A second motion, a motion for the adoption of the report on the Committee on Gender, Health, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services on the consideration of the Makueni County Sports Policy 2023. Honorable Speaker, there shall be a meeting of the County Business Committee on Monday, March 2024 at 9 a.m. and pursuant to the to be transacted that.
Chairperson Committee to respond to statement number 3 from the Chairperson Committee. As was requested by Jack member from Kumbuli, Norfolk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Of 2024 bursary, Polo North. Speaker, sir, the committee go to ICT and North to the County Executive Committee member for Finance pursuant to the section 210 of PFM and Regulation 22C of the Public Finance Management, Makueni County Bursary, 2018. What disciplinary action was taken against pursuant to the provision Regulation 13.2B of the Public Finance Management, Makueni County Bursary Fund, Regulation 2018 and Section 210 of PFM. 3. Provide the original list of the names and their application forms who applied and were vetted at each sub-ward. Mr. Speaker, sir, the ECM, Finance, Planning, Budget and Revenue Matters in the county through a letter dated 11th March 2024 attached response as follows. Whether the question one, whether chief officer responsible for the matter relating to education in the Makueni County has ever reported to your office or any direct the suspect funds during the allocation of insurance of financial year 2023-2024 bursary in Kikombolo North Ward. The response was no. The county executive committee member confirmed that the county treasurer has not received any report on the alleged expenses related to the suspected public fund. However, following the receipt of the assembly communication, the county treasurer also received a letter from the chief officer in charge of education and internship reporting the irregularities in administering the bursary in Kikombolo North Ward. The letter is reference is GMC ICO E and A bursary 2024-50 and it's dated 8th March 2024. A copy of the letter is attached here. 2. After receiving the report from the chief officer, whether your department reported the matter to the relevant law enforcement authority for investigation. The ECM indicated that the county treasurer has not reported the matter because an official report has not been brought to our attention. However, they acknowledged that the county treasurer was still receipt of report meant Makueni Police Station on 8th March 2024 with the OB number 46 concerning allegation lost documents. A copy of the OB is provided here. 3. Whether the evidence of the offense was discovered. No, the ECM reports that the offenses in the alleged is very related to the public fund during the allocation and insurance of financial year 2023-2024 bursary in the Kikombolo North Ward has not been examined. As a matter is under police investigation as evidenced by the AOB report on loss, document and ongoing disciplinary proceedings initiated Department of ICT Education and Internship. The disciplinary measures undertaken are A. Disband the ward and sub-ward bursary committee, Kikombolo North, through a letter dated 8th March 2024. Reference is there given. B. Took administrative action against officers found capable of frauding the public finance management, Makueni County Bursary, Regulation 2018. Mr. Speaker, sir, the County Executive Committee member for ICT Education and Internship, through the letter dated 11 March 2024, reference to the as attached, response as follows. Noting the county chief officer is responsible for the respective county executive committee member, whether you are caused any report on the offenses surrounding the insurance of bursary in the Kikombolo North to the county executive committee member on for finance 2010 of PFM and the Regulation 22C of the Public Management Makueni County Bursary Regulation 2018. The answer is yes. For the to report the violence of the Public Finance Management Makueni County Bursary Regulation 2018, County Executive Committee member for Finance and Socio-Economic Planning for our necessary advice and action on 14th March 2024 through a letter reference is attached. B. Report to authorities to undertake further investigation, institute prosecution if the person are found capable. The chief officer in charge of education and internship reported to the Makueni police station on 8th March 2024 with LB number 46 concerning the allegation loss of crucial documents. Number 2, what is when the action was taken pursuant to the provision of Regulation 13(2)B of the Public Finance Management Makueni County Bursary Regulation 2018 against Article 210 of Public Finance Management Act (PFM) 2012. The department initiated a disciplinary action as follows. The offences were reported to the Department of Devolution for and Administration action to be taken on officers found capable of floating bursary regulation on February 27, 2024 through a letter reference GMC/DIN/02/2024 7. Officers implicated are Samson Biu, the ward administrator, Kikombulu North Ward, Juti Nguza, the ward ECD officer. The show cause letter for the ward administrator is dated 15 March 2024, while the show cause letter for the ward ECD officer is dated 8 March 2024. Both letters are attached here. B, the ECM disbanded the Kikombulu North Ward Bursary Committee and Sub-Ward Bursary Committee for validating the Public Finance Management Makueni County Bursary Fund 2018. The disbandment letter are dated 4th March 2024 and are attached. 3, provide the original list of the names of students and the application forms who applied and were vetted as each sub-ward. The ECM indicated in the letter reference to the GMC/DIE1/02/2024-75 dated on 1st March 2024 that the original list and application forms for the students vetted were reported missing. The matter was reported to the Makueni Police Station for the further actions. Mr. Speaker, sir, the member of Kikombulu North, Honorable Jackson Balu, who wrote to the County Committee member for ICT, Education and Leadership on 7th March 2024, forwarded the list of 21 students list attached who are lunch upright, were vetted and qualified for awarding of the bursary but were not in the final list. This indicates that the students were deserving and they may have been shortchanged as they did not benefit despite qualifying for bursary disbursement. The ECM confirmed that the department has established that 14 out of the 21 students submitted by the member of Kikombulu North were deserving bursaries. Further, the Department of ICT, Education and Leadership has constituted a team as attached to conduct due diligence on the remaining 7 students to establish their eligibility for the bursary allocation. Mr. Speaker, sir, the department affirms its commitment to ensure that all students who deserve bursary and were shortchanged will receive their bursary. The ECM indicated that the department will source funds to issue bursaries to the 14 students mentioned above within the 7 days by 18th March 2024. Even as due diligence on the 7 remaining is being concluded, assurance of bursaries for the remaining 7 students will be completed within 14 days by 25th March 2024. Mr. Speaker, I hereby present the report to the statement regarding the issuance of financial year 2023-24 bursary in Kikombulu North, as requested by Honorable Jackson Balu for Kikombulu North Ward on Monday 26 February 2024 to Assembly for consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Kikombulu North Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the work of the committee. Concerning the answers to the questions I'd asked, Mr. Speaker, part of the questions have been answered, others have not been answered well. I'll start with the part which I feel they tried. The 21 names which I submitted for the students who had been shortlisted and were shortchanged, they have committed themselves to start with the 14 in 7 days, and then by 25th to finish giving checks to the remaining students. That is positive because, Mr. Speaker, as I stated earlier, justice delayed is justice denied. So as we continue to follow these others, these students should get them checks and continue pursuing education. That is the positive side. Mr. Speaker, on the other side, as you've heard, the CEO wrote, the chief officer wrote to the ECM. They are talking or quoting of 14th March. 14 is tomorrow. I don't know when they wrote that because they are quoting post, whether they will write by 14th or when. The other point they have talked about reporting to the police. Mr. Speaker, this committee of education from the ECM made a report, and the report implicated the team on the ground because, Mr. Speaker, from what they wrote, they realized that checks were given to students who did not belong to Kumbuli North. Point two, they also noted that students who are deserving missed in bursaries, and they gave some parents more bursary checks while others were suffering. Mr. Speaker, I am interested so much in knowing what will happen to the administrator of Kikumbuli North Ward and the village administrator, because they are the key players in this. There's no way you can touch the ward administrator and leave the village administrator because they play together and they invited each other. Prosecution, which I did not hear it being mentioned here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish that we get clear report of the disciplinary action being taken by devolution within. I'd wish that we get that report because it will also check whether the students have received the bursary. Maybe in 14 days, we get the picture of whether the bursaries have been given. Point two, the report which will come from the devolution of the disciplinary action taken from these two officers. The other point I want to emphasize, Mr. Speaker, I'm seeing them pulling themselves like they do not want to fire shots, Mr. Speaker. Because when the picture is very clear, I wonder why they cannot go straight to shoot. Because, Mr. Speaker, every is tabled and they agreed that bursaries were issued poorly and the records were confiscated. That means that there was actually a process of hiding the evidence. When you are covering tracks, it means you are guilty, Mr. Speaker. So the method they are using to discipline the officers involved is ambiguous and is not clear. It's not clear. Even the reporting they are supposed to give the finance minister is not clear, Mr. Speaker. He's playing like an outsider while the finance ECM should be in the central role of information to apply the PFM Act and what is required when people are incriminated in this. I would wish, Mr. Speaker, that you guide us much on this. Thank you.
Chairperson on the issues raised by Honorable Mbalo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have heard the honorable member what you have said, and that's why you can see the ECM brought to the department which owed where the office of ward administrator is. So we are waiting communication from the ECM, where you get the communication from the Department of Devolution. And I know, because as we are talking now, the members have been suspended, they are not in work, so we are waiting for the what will happen. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to correct my colleague, the Chair of Education, that the members are still working, they are in office. I'm aware they were written show cause letters, but they are still in office. And that's why I'm trying to say there is lethargy, there's slowness in taking action. Because, Mr. Speaker, no, you cannot go on and interfere with 5 million men for needy students and you are still in your office comfortable interfering in other things. Because if the report incriminates you, what are you doing in office? I mean, Mr. Speaker, the report incriminates these officers and they are still running the affairs of Kikumbuli North. What else are they going to do? What are other damage are they planning to do? Because, Mr. Speaker, these are officers who are incriminated in them. That's why I'm saying the department is slow in taking action. I would have really wished to hear the report saying that we gave the report which incriminated so, and we recommend that they be suspended from office as the investigation goes on, Mr. Speaker. But you can see they are still in office. What is happening now? I mean, they are running affairs of Kikumbuli North when they are already incriminated in interfering with bursary. Mr. Speaker, I wish that comes clear. Thank you.
Chairperson, do you still hold the opinion that the officers have been suspended? That is what you've stated? Or you withdraw?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. According to us, is information given from the department is that the members who are told to write a cause letter, short cause letter, and they have been suspended as per our information. And as a committee, now we are going to...
The member is informing you that this report you have read indicates short cause letter. And you have said they are suspended. So what are you basing your source of information on?
Mr. Speaker, when we were told they were in short cause, we followed, and then we were told that the Department of Devolution has now taken another step so that they can be suspended for a while as the investigation goes on. But the report we have from the ECM is that they wrote a short cause. But another information is not written here, that we were told that the Department of Devolution says that they are going to suspend them as they do the investigation.
Honorable Elizabeth Muthige, will you?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank the committee for the efforts that they have made, but I would want to ask for a clarification, because I have heard the chair say that disciplinary letters have been issued to the ward administrator and the ECDE coordinator. I wanted to ask the chair how the ECDE coordinator comes in, because I don't think he's a member of the committee on bursary in the sub-wards. Thank you.
Member for Kikumbuli South Ward.
Speaker, to inform Honorable Muthige that ECD coordinators are secretaries to those committees. They are the people who are running the show for the department in those committees. They are the direct officers. In fact, the ward administrator is only coordinating government programs in the ward, but the ECD coordinators are the people whom the department depends on to issue these bursaries. Without the ECD coordinators, I can tell you the next person will be a CTTI manager, but they are controlled by the ECD officers. So, and even when you look at the act, when you look at the act and the regulations, it will tell you the ECD coordinators have their role in those committees. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Muthige, you answered.
Honorable Speaker, you know it's different in different wards. I was asking specifically for the matter Kikumbuli North. Was the ECD coordinator the secretary of this sub-ward bursary or ward bursary committee? Thank you.
According to Honorable Kalunda, the law provides that the ECD, an education officer, shall be the secretary to the bursary ward committee. So, could be you have an information. He's quoting the law, how it ought to be. But perhaps you may have information that that officer was absent. The chairperson, you are aware? The information that we have may not detail that, specifically who so and so, but according to the law, is that when I read his Ward Bursary Committee as the ward administrator and an officer from the Department of Education in that jurisdiction, also will be the secretary. Honorable Mudika? Is that answered? Honorable Mbalu?
Honorable members who have been around and have seen how the bursaries are being run, the governors on the ground are the administrators. In fact, CCD, the coordinators never come. Even when we ask this question, you can see the administrator owned it. He owned it that the records got lost. They are the ones who key into the computers. So that must be so, but it has been silent. But the people who run the show and who really cannot even step aside, it is the administrators. The administrator and the village administrators. And that's why, like in Kikubuli, the administrator of the ward and the village administrator of Kadiak and Detan, they are the people who are running show, because the other administrator from the other sub-board had just gone for maternity. So they run the show. In fact, even if we were to call the committee there, they'll tell you the ECD has not been coming there. And maybe they would need to explain to the Waziri, but the people who played key role in actually changing my people are very well known, the board administrator and the village administrator. Thank you.
Member from Sunday Ward?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's clear when you look at the bursary guidelines on the committee of the ward, the person for education ward is silent. It's just person responsible for education. So, authoritatively, mind up, it was designed in a way the coordinator who is a sub-county is not there. She delegate to somebody else. That's why in this mess, go to the ward administrator who we normally say he coordinates all government functions with and make bursary fund for the bursary for Kikumbuli. So we are using because they are a bit silent. The one responsible for education in that ward, like Honorable Kalunda said, even if you are in your responsible for education, so tricky the way somebody has to take responsibility and to show us it has teeth to bite. Somebody has to take responsibility. If it's not the ECC, the CEO, somebody has to take responsibility because we entrust you with those resources. You cannot go mess it and then you give and cannot. You telling us? She telling to write.
changed. So, Mr. Speaker, the committee can go far and invite the officers, the accused officers, the ward administrator, the village administrator, and the ECD coordinator, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Speaker, so that we do not go around the mountain for 40 years or 40 days, these officers on the ground owned it. They owned it, the mess is on their own. I mean, like the ward administrator, he owned it. He said he owns the mess. When they were asked where are the records, because the key, the booklet which was contained the names from the subward, held the key to know who was elected from the subward. They hid that and the records. And there was no evidence of burning, breakages. The boy who was assisting them, they had taken, disappeared from sea. So, Mr. Speaker, they were involved in issues of coverage, hiding the evidence. And that's why he even openly said from the report, he's responsible for that. Mr. Speaker, when somebody owns, do we need to investigate that? If you say the report got disappeared in your hand and there was no blockage, I mean, you can make a conclusion. The conclusion is obvious. You cannot hide a report unless you are hiding. You cannot interfere with the evidence unless you know the evidence once enhanced. It will show the bigger picture of what you did. Mr. Speaker, a lot was done, and we are trying to touch just the tip of the iceberg. But Mr. Speaker, we are happy that the report from the committee agreed with what I said. Because that's why I just asked you from my question, where is the booklet, that evidence? And they say they cannot get it. Why? It disappeared. Why would it disappear? Because they wanted us to rely on the doctored online report. Okay? Because they doctored what they put in the computers. While we needed to see the evidence, the report they put into computer is different from what we were given. They kept that report, then they withdrew it. They banned it, they withdrew it, they know what they did. That is not coincidence. It's well coordinated, skewed scheme to hide evidence.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
What do you want us to do?
Mr. Speaker, number one, I've said I've appreciated the 21 students who missed. They have put dates, timelines, when to give them checks. I've said I appreciate that. But Mr. Speaker, we cannot let it go just that way. We need to hear day to day what is happening with these officers, because you can't just tell me you reported in the office here. It will end there. So, Mr. Speaker, we need a proper coordinated and the report from the finance minister also quoting the PFM Act, what it says, and are taking the actions that are specified in the PFM Act, Mr. Speaker. That's what I'm saying. And that we need to get this report again, what they have done in 14 days. So that, Mr. Speaker, in 14 days we can be told what happened to these officers, how far the status of the investigation. We can also be able to confirm when the checks, the 21 checks, have been given to these needy students. Thank you.
Honorable members, 7 minutes to 4. Honorable Kalunda, you spoke. You informed. It's fair. We will not vote. We are not making development. Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to inform the House after 25th March, we are going to give the other report of how the students have gotten their checks and the actions, further actions which has been taken by the department. So on 25th, after 25th March, we come with the final report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What is it, Emali?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I thought when the chair spoke, the matter was to be stopped at that stage. But maybe my comment, Honorable Speaker, about this, because money is being lost, and we have the responsible persons. And in this matter, documents were lost. And we have a secretary who is a government officer as per the ward bursary committee. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, I think the committee, because I have realized that the MCA is an ex-officio member of the ward bursary committee. We need a report from the committee, the education committee, ex-officio. Oh yes, honorable members. So we need the education committee to properly investigate this matter and use that Kikumbulu North report maybe to come up with the conclusion on how to amend some of the regulations on this sector. And instructions as per the PFM Act against misappropriation of public resources, that should be noted with capital letters. That will be an example to those who are ready, who have been misusing public resources. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I add that the 21 students will receive checks. Now, Mr. Speaker, this House would want to know where this money will come from, which kit, which allocation, and how they will account it. Maybe they will issue checks for other students, needy students. So we need to know. We did not hear them saying that they will recover from the officers or where are they getting this money from.
Mr. Speaker, that's a question, one of the questions I asked the Waziri where this money will come from, and the Waziri clearly told me as the procedure of discipline is going on, this money will have to be recovered from the implicated officers. I asked you that. Maybe the committee may not have asked, but me personally, I asked the ECM education on this issue because I wanted to know.
Fair enough. Honorable Judge, what's your comment? Oh, it is.
Because, we still have some monies we did not exhaust for Kumbulu's out. Now I was worried. Those monies will be used to cover. We have some monies. We have not exhausted our bursary fund. So now I was even trying to see if the supplementary budget comes up. I can sweep all that money to go elsewhere because it is going to be
Fears
used.
have been addressed.
Yes, thank you, Honorable.
Honorable Modi.
Honorable, when you say the fears of an honorable member have been addressed, you see that just come from the member for Kikumbulu North. It's not written anywhere. So, yes, so it can be the same money for Kikumbulu South being issued to Kikumbulu North, and you may not know. So we need a confirmation from the ECM where she's going to get these amounts from. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Relax.
To say, I want you to know, Mr. Speaker, when I placed 5 million shillings in that kitty, I stopped building roads, stopped building classes, and placed that man there. So if in normal circumstances, a contractor is stopped from further loss, even a contractor is messing, what do? We stop them from, now who was doing the contracting here? It's the government. So wherever they get the money, I don't want to know. But my kids, who I need them to be in school. I need them to have their checks even as late as yesterday, Mr. Speaker, because I gave money. And this money I did not give to street bypassers. I gave it to the government. The government, it has know where to get money and where to replace that, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, now this is I am seeing is going to be lost. Like to lose money. We need somewhere, not just silent like that. I've seen. I want also who are watching. There was somebody who was, and then the lawyers were saying, and can rehabilitate. She's kill and
The same thing with the ward administrator and stuff like that. They are saying this is the first time they have been caught. Can we sympathize with them, Honorable Speaker? It's not. Let the minister act reprimanding by also making sure that those people don't step. I understand the Constitution of Kenya 2010 says if you are implicated and you are under investigations, you leave that office and you are paid the half salary, Honorable Speaker. Two, you don't even influence anything within that office, Honorable Speaker. So I understand what Mbalo is saying, but I agree with that, but I will not agree on how he is going to make strict commitments with the minister, Honorable Speaker. Just calling him and telling him that we're going to make sure that 21 students will get their monies. Honorable Speaker, this money is going to be gotten from somewhere, Honorable Speaker. I don't want my money to be touched. The people of Gikumbuli also stopped their projects to fund bursaries, Honorable Speaker. Now, when you leave it at that, Honorable Speaker, this money will be gotten from Gikumbuli South and elsewhere. So we want the minister to commit that she is going to spend money from a certain dedicated vote, Honorable Speaker, without now leaving it a blank like that for us. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Oh, fair enough, Honorable Kalunda. What is important for Honorable Mbalo is how kids will go to school. He is not interested with the details. Because according to him, listening to his debate, there are kids that were to benefit, they have not benefited, that was his goal. What Honorable Kalunda and Honorable Timu you are interested in is the procedure to be followed so that the kids may benefit, so that we don't get into another difficulty. So all of you are in order. You need not to worry about it, and you are contributing positively. Now, Chairperson, you have requested for 14 days. So if it's 14 days, we'll grant you 14 days. You take a note of the issues raised by members. Honorable, I don't know who has indicated that the suspected people and the executive committee member, the committee should make an inquiry into this matter by inviting those involved and table a report. And so to speak is to direct that since the statement has been responded, require answers. Some people here are accused and they have not been given an opportunity to defend themselves. It is also not very fair. For example, assuming that the sub-county ECD officer ought to have been in that meeting, but that officer was not notified. Then if the officer was not notified, then you cannot blame them. Or maybe he was notified and did not attend to the duties. That is a different scenario. And you can only get that from the horse's mouth. So within 14 days, you inquire into this matter, investigate, and present a report before this house.
Well,
With the recommendations. With a minute to 4. Next order. Next statement. Chairperson Committee on House Officers to respond to statement as requested by member from board regarding construction of isolation. Member from board is not present. Did you discuss with the member? Was the member notified? Chairperson Committee on Infrastructure to respond to the statement regarding establishment of access to Kajiado County. Member is absent. Order.
Order number 8, motion. The aviary brings the report of the Assembly business for the period between July and December 2023.
Chairperson. Honorable James Kalunda. Who is the mover of the motion?
we proceed to the next part. You ready? Right.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to move the motion. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, I move the motion that this adopts the half-yearly progress report of the Assembly Business Committee for the period between July and December 2023, laid on the table of the Assembly on 23rd February 2024. Honorable Speaker, I will not go to the preface on the composition of the committee, and neither will I also speak on the membership. Then I will also ask, I will ask the Honorable Speaker to allow me to start with the committee deliberations. Am I allowed, Honorable Speaker?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, for the period under review, various items were considered and slotted for transaction by the Assembly, which included bills, motions, petitions, papers, statements, and messages, and also communication. The committee held a total of 22 sittings for the period between July 2023 to December 2023 to deliberate on the above matters. Findings: the committees were taking too long to conclude on matters before them, arising from the lack of quorum in the committees, and no reports were received by the County Assembly Business Committee on the consecutive absenteeism of members. Two, there were functions under the oversight of the sectoral committees that lacked clear guidelines by legislations. Three, that no reports were presented by the sectoral committees analyzing the success of the departments as compared to their objectives and allocated budget and recommending areas of action. Four, that the recommendation of some of the committees' reports were not that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Five, the committees lacked implementation matrices to guide on oversight of matters before them, as well as follow up on matters resolved by County Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I wish to take us through the recommendations. The committee recommends the following. One, the committees should comply to the provisions of Standing Order number 190 of the County Assembly Standing Orders that states that if a member fails to attend for consecutive sittings of a committee without the written permission of the chairperson of the committee or the permission of the speaker, if the member is the chairperson or the speaker, as the case may be, shall notify the committee of the failure. Two, a committee noted that the notification under paragraph 1 above may resolve that the member or the chairperson, as the case may be suspended from the membership of the committee, and that the matter reported to the committee on selection. Three, upon receipt of a report under paragraph 2, the County Assembly Business Committee consider the matter and shall propose a replacement of the member for approval by the County Assembly. Recommendation number 2, that the sectoral committees should look keenly into the mandates and the devolved functions that they oversight, identify any policy gaps and legal provisions in comparison with the national provisions, and pick up the issues by coming up with legislative. 3, the sectoral committee should ensure that clear legislations are developed to implement the various county government policies already in place. 4, the sectoral committees should endeavor to comply with the provisions of Standing Order 2165D that states that it is the mandate of the sectoral committees to study, assess, and analyze the relative successes of the departments as measured by the results obtained as compared with their state objectives, and give recommendations on areas of further action for approval by the Assembly. 5, that the County Assembly committees should embark on fast-tracking implementation of resolutions made by the House between January 2023 and June 2023, and report within 30 days of implementation committee upon the resolution of the Assembly. 6, that the Assembly committees should ensure that their recommendations are smart, that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound for the purposes of implementation, and as well as to act as a guideline to oversight by the committees and for effective follow-up of the same. 7, and the last one, that all committees should endeavor to develop implementation matrices and its consideration captured under every sitting's notice of agenda to facilitate follow-up of the matters before them. Acknowledging, Honorable Speaker, the committee wishes to thank the leadership officers for the invaluable support received during the period over which this report refers. Honorable Speaker, I call upon Honorable Member for Mtwande, the Deputy Speaker, to second this motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the Assembly adopt the half-yearly progress report of the Assembly Business Committee for the period between July and December 2023, near the General Assembly of February.
The Speaker, on our point of it, in order for this House to continue transacting business.
Terms, within the bill.